Today, we're diving into one of the most underutilized platforms in business, LinkedIn. With over 1 billion users and an estimated $16 billion in platform value, LinkedIn is a B2B powerhouse that's built for connection, credibility, and conversations. In this video, I'm going to show you why LinkedIn should be a core part of your marketing strategy and how to use content to bring people from your profile to your pipeline. Hi, I'm Don Davis, the founder of D3 Digital Media Marketing, and we help businesses create real traction online by using content to attract, engage, and convert their ideal customers. So before we dive in too deep, I wanted to talk a little bit about why LinkedIn is worth your time. The number one advantage of LinkedIn is the fact that the platform has over 1 billion professionals globally, and there's over 61 million decision makers. The users that come to LinkedIn are really there to learn, grow, and do business. The other major advantage for any business is the fact that organic reach is still strong due to the fact that there's low content saturation. You're not competing with cat videos and things like that on a platform like LinkedIn. You're showing up in front of decision makers looking for solutions to their particular problem. LinkedIn is a business first ecosystem. It's not like Instagram or TikTok. The users that are here are really here with a professional mindset. Additionally, trust is higher and attention spans are longer. It's where conversations can turn into consultations and eventually long term business for your business. On LinkedIn, people buy from people, not from logos. With your content, your goal is not to be a celebrity. You really want to be relevant and consistent with your audience on LinkedIn. Building your authority as a business owner or expert really drives brand loyalty in the end, because what you're doing is for people that are passive, you're starting to build a relationship before they actually arrive at your door asking about your particular service. Content opens that door. The conversation closes the deal. One of the things that we consistently tell our clients is the fact that you're really trying to build long-term relationships with people so that your content at the end of the day is starting to establish the fact that you know what it is that they're looking for. Secondly, you understand their key pain points. And lastly, you can provide a solution to the particular pain that they're currently having. So how do you use content to drive traffic and leads? At D3 Digital, we use this framework to build consistency with our clients so that they have content that converts on LinkedIn. Number one, you have to start with your ideal buyer. Who is it that you want to work with? What roles are they in? What challenges are they trying to solve? If by focusing on the person behind the purchase, you'll start to understand them and your content will actually start to become clearer and connect more frequently with them. One of the key things that's oftentimes overlooked by people is the fact that your profile is really the main reason why people will or will not engage with you on platforms like LinkedIn. In a second, we're going to take a look at a couple of different profiles that are good examples of what you might want to think about whenever you're constructing your particular profile. The first thing that people see, whether they're connecting with you or they're interacting with you on LinkedIn, is your headline. Your headline is that text that's just below your profile picture that really reads exactly who it is that you serve and how you solve their particular problem. You really should think about it as your value proposition in one line. Second, your about section is your story. It provides credibility and your call to action, what it is that you actually do to serve the particular clients that you have. Next, your featured section is your opportunity to direct traffic to your best content. Provide lead magnets or a booking link. You can do all of that in your featured section in your profile. Lastly, your call to action is your opportunity to tell people exactly what to do next. How do they get to you and how do they book a call whenever they're interested in your particular service? Think about your profile page on LinkedIn like a landing page. It should convert attention into action. Okay, so I wanted to cover just a couple of profiles here and just take a quick look at people that have massive audiences inside of LinkedIn, right? So Jasmine Alec, he currently has, 300,000 followers. So this guy definitely knows exactly how to structure a LinkedIn profile here. And so First thing that he has is a great banner image at the top that tells you very clearly what it is that he does. A great profile picture of him smiling and, just a very well lit picture of him. His headline is right here. So whenever we were talking about headlines earlier, this is the headline area. And the headline essentially is just telling people exactly what it is that you do. And you want to use the front part of this, especially to try and tell people exactly what it is that you do, because otherwise, whenever they go to connect with you, they'll either have to go into your profile to be able to see it, or maybe even they won't connect with you just for the reason that they don't understand what it is that you do. I spoke a little bit about the about section. I'm going to skip past this just for a second and go to the featured section first, and then I'll come back to the about section. But you could see here, he's got some very clear things that you can click on here. You can become a member of his community. You can, go through and set up a meeting with him on Calendly. And then also he's got, keynotes and workshops and just a link to his web page over here. So just a great example of a featured section, and the way that he's got this highlighted is absolutely perfect on his profile. In terms of the things in his about section, he's trying to talk to you very specifically in terms of the things that he actually does to try and connect with people, to get people to be amplified on this platform. That's what he does. That's what his day job actually is. And so with that, again, he just walks somebody from where you currently are and the struggles that you might have and the ways that he might be able to help you in this about section. As you get down to the very bottom, he talks a little bit about, some of the other things that he has in terms of directly connecting. And again, he provides his link to his calendar directly in his profile. So this is just a great way to structure a profile and really have it spotlighted. I'm going to go to Richard Vanderbloom. For those of you who don't know Richard, one of the things that you should know about him and follow him, especially if you're doing stuff on LinkedIn, because of the fact that he actually examines the LinkedIn algorithm. And so, one of the key things that he does as a professional is to, really examine how people can, at the end of the day, better understand the algorithm itself. And so he's one of the key people that I actually follow myself to just better understand what the LinkedIn algorithm is doing. So let's take a quick look at Richard Vanderbloom's profile page here. And so again, a very clear headline in terms of what he's doing, in terms of serving people, helping sales and marketing teams turn LinkedIn into a lead generation business growth engine. This is one of the things that he does. As you kind of scroll down here, again, he has his about section. You can actually see he has his telephone number right here at the very top part of his about section. And again, we'll come and take a deeper look at this in just a second. He describes quite a bit of his services and things like that in the services section. But again, if you look at his featured section, he has quite a few things that are here that he wants people to go through and actually engage in with him. First thing, he's currently working on a playbook for the algorithm. Number two, he's got a group called the Tribe that he wants people to join. And then thirdly, he's got a calendar link that's right here for you to book a call. And so just a great layout for his LinkedIn section. Now, in terms of the about section with Richard, again, you see a little bit of a difference between Jasmine Alec and Richard. Number one being that as you go through the about section here, he's walking you through who he is, what he does, how you can benefit, et cetera. And so there's a little bit of a difference here. And again, it could be a style difference, but these are the sort of things that would help to highlight you and your personality inside of the LinkedIn platform so that people want to, first of all, connect with you. Second, connect with your content. And third, really want to engage with you and your organization because of the specifics that are outlined here. Not having a good about section, not having a good outline, overall as an organization is something that really sends people away. Oftentimes, whenever they look a little bit deeper at who you might be and how you might engage with them. Let's talk a little bit about the types of content that you actually should be creating so that you can start to connect with your ideal audience. First of all, the types of content that I normally recommend that people create are either to teach, to relate, to provide proof, or to engage. And those are the four types of content that we're going to talk about here. So, in terms of teaching posts, these are the sort of posts that are things like frameworks, tips, or industry insights. An example of a title in the teaching space would be something like 3 Ways to Increase Leads Without Paid Ads. In terms of relating, you want to share your perspective, your lessons, or your experiences inside the industry that you serve. One of the examples for a title here would be something like What I Learned from Losing a Client and Why It's Made Me Better. For proof, you want to showcase results, testimonials, and transformations. An example of a headline here would be We helped a B2B company triple inbound leads using only organic LinkedIn content. Engage is asking questions, posting polls, or sparking conversation. An example here would be something like, What's your biggest content challenge right now? You can also run a poll and ask people, hey, look, have you ever found leads on LinkedIn? I've done this before. I've found that 82% of my network has found leads on LinkedIn, which I found extremely interesting because it's not something that we frequently talk about together. And overall, you're not just posting, you're trying to position yourself, one, as a trusted guide, and two, as somebody that really cares about the opinions of your audience. The last part of this framework is we need to use CTAs or calls to action to drive website traffic. So oftentimes I see people spend a lot of time creating content. They'll sit down and write an article or create a lead magnet, and then they won't actually turn around and really broadcast it on LinkedIn. And by not sharing it with your audience, you're missing out on that opportunity to truly connect with people. You want to ask people things like, Hey, would you like the full guide? If you would, then just post it in the comments and I'll send you the full guide. Another example would be, We just published a case study. Message me if you'd like the link. Those sort of things actually show that people are engaging with your content, and it gives you an opportunity to interact. By providing ways to point back to your website or your lead magnet, it's also giving people an opportunity to examine who you are and who you serve a lot deeper. The one thing to keep in mind here is that you don't need to sell in every post, but you should invite action every single week. You should invite action to go to your website, to check things out, and go a little deeper. I just mentioned it in the last comment, but you really want to leverage direct messages to turn engagement into opportunity. You want to send a thank you message to anybody that actually comes through as a new connection. You want to reach out after somebody engages with your post, and you want to offer resources or a conversation, not a pitch. So I just want to be clear about this, because if you turn around and you sell immediately, you're going to immediately turn people off. And I think this is something that a lot of people have gotten tired with on LinkedIn, where people will come back really strong and try and directly, pitch or position their service, even though that's not what you've actually asked for. Most people stop at visibility, but the real ROI is in the follow up. The follow up is actually where all of the fortunes are made. One of the biggest services that D3 Digital actually offers right now is continued follow up with people for our clients. One of the main reasons why we do this is because what we found is that when we continually follow up, we have an opportunity to eventually engage the individual who's being followed up. So that way, our clients generate actual leads coming out of those conversations. One of the key things that you should never forget is the fact that you really need to track what works. You want to understand overall who's coming back and who's looking at your post, who is engaging with your post, are people clicking on the links and messaging you? And you can use that data and strategy over time to really refine what content should be doubled down on. Maybe there are things like polls that really work well for you. Maybe there are things in your posts like guides and lead magnets that really result in more clicks and more engagement over time. This is just another signal that you need to spend more time to create that type of content for your particular audience. Content without data is just guessing. So you want to make sure that you have some sort of strategy behind it that results in growth. To wrap up, here's what I want you to take away from today's video. LinkedIn is the most underutilized lead gen platform for B2B professionals. Number two, you don't need to go viral. You just need to show up consistently. Number three, content isn't just for clicks. It's how you build trust and drive conversations. Number four, the opportunity is massive and wide open. If you'd like help building out your content marketing strategy, optimizing your LinkedIn profile, or crafting a lead magnet that actually works, head over to our website or DM me the word LinkedIn, and I'll send you our free LinkedIn content starter kit. If you like this video, please make sure that you click the like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.